Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the Millennial Mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Welcome to our 116th episode. Still on the air after 2.5 years and going strong. It's always such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And also remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now streaming 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV. That's free programming to you. And you can always find us on our YouTube channel at Zen Sams. We have such a great show lined up for you today. In our Trailblazers segment brought to you by OGPay.com, we're chatting with Jen Gottlieb, a powerhouse entrepreneur, author of the book Be Seen, host of the I Dare You podcast, and co-founder of the award-winning Super Connector Media. Today, we're chatting how to increase your popularity, get noticed, and reach your true potential as a brand and entrepreneur. In our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by Navé Travel, we're featuring Heather Choi, author, accomplished violinist, and chairman of SMYH, Show Me Your Heart Foundation. She is joined by illustrator and book author Laura Bryson. Eugene's Unsuspecting Journey is her first written publication and the second children's book, which she illustrated. Today, we're chatting all about grief, how to manifest positive emotional change after loss, and how Heather is aiming to help parents and those grieving from loss change the color of the day. In our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Romulus Entertainment, today we're featuring actor, producer, and influencer Lorenzo Antonucci. We're chatting career, his directorial debut, Bruce Willis, and Hollywood's aggressive cancel culture. In our culinary and wine segment brought to you by Biche Cucina, today we're featuring our dear friend, Chef Jonathan Cinto, celebrity chef that is, bringing us his summer recipe of the week. Can't wait to see what he has in store. Stay tuned for our Trailblazers segment brought to you by OGPay.com. We're chatting with the amazing Jen Gottlieb in-house right here at iHeart headquarters. She's a powerhouse entrepreneur, author of the book Be Seen, and host of the I Dare You podcast. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out OGPay.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in a few minutes in our Trailblazer segment brought to you by OGPay.com. Today, we're chatting with the amazing Jen Gottlieb, a powerhouse entrepreneur, author of the book Be Seen, host of the I Dare You podcast, and co-founder of the award-winning Super Connector Media. Now, with a successful 5-year stint as a VH1 host and career as a Broadway actress under her belt, Jen now teaches business owners how to build profitable brands through her online education, events, and training company. Her passion is to help entrepreneurs gain the confidence and skills required to make a splash in their industry. Through her sold-out events, online courses, and mentorship program, she has helped thousands of business owners, experts, doctors, and coaches become the recognized expert in their field. Now, when considering all the elements of your business brand, there are many avenues to explore: brand image, logo design, brand marketing, and brand influence. That's just to name a few. Powerful brands are more likely to be chosen by consumers through the loyalty and recognition of their very name. This is why brand power can be a lot more important than product power, and why focusing on building a recognized brand is key for success. Today, we're chatting how to increase your popularity,
get noticed, and reach your true potential as a brand and entrepreneur. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing Jen Gottlieb. Welcome to the show, superstar.
I am so excited to be here, Zen. I love this Jen and Zen vibe we've got going. It's going to be awesome. Very happy to be here.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. So you're a very powerful, sought-after speaker. You've shared the stage with top thought leaders and celebrities, including the very famous Gary Vee and Snoop Dogg and even Martha Stewart. And your work has been featured in major publications. You were recently named one of the top 50 speakers in the world, and your company, Super Connector Media, was listed on the INC 5000 list of the fastest growing private companies in America. Jen, what is the key to getting noticed and being seen, as per your book, Be Seen?
The key, the number one thing that you always need to remember when you're starting to build a brand or be seen or be noticed is it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with the mindset. You could know all the tools, all the strategies to build your brand and to get yourself out there. You could know how to write the greatest captions. You can start to use artificial intelligence to create amazing captions. It's really easy nowadays with the strategy. But the thing that holds the most people back is always the lack of confidence. Always. I speak to some of the most successful people in the world, people that have billion-dollar businesses that are doing things on an epic, huge scale. And they still say to me, Jen, I haven't made video. I haven't put myself out there because I'm really afraid of what other people will think. I'm afraid of it not being perfect enough. I'm afraid of it not being good enough. And what I remind them is that it's your responsibility to be seen. If you have a service or a story or a product that helps somebody, that can help people, if they can't find you, they're going to go buy from someone else or listen to someone else that's not as good as you and doesn't care as much as you, simply because you're too insecure of what you look like or what you sound like. And the truth is, a powerful brand is one that can truly connect with other humans. And people like to connect with people that they can relate to. So the more imperfect and the more messy and the more you share who you truly are, the faster your brand will build and the easier it will be when it comes to the mindset about the whole thing, about putting yourself out there and being more confident doing it.
I love it. That's some great advice, and truly from the heart, and spoken from the heart too, because you're right. Transparency, putting yourself out there, is probably key to why people will be able to relate with you more than anything else. Now let's chat brand power. So, which is essentially, when we say brand power, the ultimate sway your business will have in its chosen market per se, right? So this involves thinking about how your business can create a product or service worth having, and the power your business has to make that product worth much more than competitors in a crowded market. What is your advice here?
So if you think about what a customer's doing when they're seeking out a brand or a product to buy or a service that they want to use, they're going to do one thing first. They're going to Google. They're going to go online, and they're actually subconsciously searching for three things: credibility, influence, and authority. I call it CIA. They want to make sure that the brand that they're choosing is credible, because there's a lot of people on the internet right now saying that they're great. And they're not necessarily great. They aren't really necessarily doing the thing that they say that they're doing. So people are searching for trust, and credibility is trust. So credibility meaning being featured on major media platforms, being featured on big podcasts, being featured in publications, or even on television, or anywhere where you can be featured by somebody that is already trusted and has really good credibility themselves. For you to get borrowed credibility and borrowed influence from them is unbelievably important when it comes to building brand. And then you want to create authority, and you want to build an audience by giving lots of value. People are going to search Instagram, social media, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the places, Google, online, to see if you're the recognized expert. And recognized experts, people that build powerful brands, are always giving value in their expertise. They're showcasing how good they are. They're showcasing their case studies. They're showcasing their credibility. They're creating more authority by flashing that badge, showing, listen, I was featured here. I was on this podcast. I'm good enough to be here. And that just makes people feel more comfortable when they start to sign up for their services or buy their products. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging all of these other audiences to build your credibility, and that is going to differentiate you from any other person trying to build a brand out there in a similar industry that you're in.
You're 100% right. And the reason understanding why brand power is important for your business is because effective branding is what's going to elevate your company above the rest, drawing focus on what your brand has to offer in that unique way. And whatever makes your business brand unique is going to be the power you have in the market landscape. So I totally agree with what you're saying. I echo your sentiment. You're preaching to the choir. Now, we all know someone with that it factor, right? Mm-hmm. It's someone whose personal charisma and appeal make them stand out. There's just something about them that's just absolutely magnetic, kind of like what you got going on. They draw the attention and desire of people around them seemingly without any conscious effort. And you have shared the stage with some of the biggest business names in the world. How does one go about establishing their quote unquote it factor?
Well, thank you, Zen. You also have mega it factor, and I felt it the second that I walked in the room. And here's how you can tell if somebody has it factor. Here's how you can embrace your own it factor, because we all have it. We all have it inside of us. I think just some people are too shy to let it fly, to let it out there, because at some point in time in our lives, maybe somebody said to us, you should really be quiet. You should really not stand like that. You shouldn't dress like that. You shouldn't speak that loudly. You should really be polite. And over time, we start to downplay who we truly are, and we actually kind of hide our it factor and we don't let it shine. And that's totally normal. We're conditioned to do that as kids, many of us. But what I would recommend for all of you to do to re-engage with your it factor is to tap into that uniqueness that is you, that you possessed when you were a really little kid, when you didn't care what anybody else thought. And to be loving and kind and open and truly want to connect with others. So when I walked in the room, when I walked into the studio, Zen, you were just like, oh my God. You gave me the biggest hug. You just wanted to connect with me. You were you. There was no mask on. There was no hiding behind something that you tried to be. It was just you. And that's why I felt like I could deeply connect with you. And I felt an energy and it factor from you because you were just being Zen. You weren't trying to be like anybody else. And people can feel that. It's an authenticity that comes from that true you that's deep within you that you had since you were a little kid. And if you can tap back into that person, who that person was before the conditioning happened, before they told you what you should be like or what you should think or how you should sound, and be the most you that you can possibly be, that's when you will be unique, you'll stand out, and you'll have that energy that people will want to be around.
Preach. You said it, sister. Amen to that. Look at you. You summed it up perfectly. And it's more like the invisible thing a person has that makes them stand out in a crowd. It's invisible, really. It's not because they talk loud like or look like a supermodel or do things that draw attention to themselves. To your point, it's actually confidence with humility and a genuine interest in others. Like, I'm genuinely interested in what you're saying. I was genuinely interested in what you were posting when I stalked you on Instagram. I was genuinely wanting you to come here and share your knowledge and your expert insight on how you made it and how others can model your behavior and how others can have it all just the same way you've had it, and you've worked really hard to get there. It just didn't happen overnight. So now let's chat becoming an expert, because this is extremely important. I love what you're saying. So expertise is what separates the amateur from the true master in almost any field, right? From medicine to science to sports to artistic performance. And the question of whether experts are born or made is related to the age-old nature versus nurture debate in psychology. Now, do genetics or experience play more of a role in shaping who we are? So there has been a considerable amount of attention paid to the made, quote unquote, aspect of the debate. And according to many researchers, expertise is acquired through dedicated practice. But how exactly does someone go about becoming that expert? So you advocate for this concept in all your courses. So tell us, how does one go about transforming and manifesting into the expert they ought to be in their field?
It's by doing consistently. It's by practicing and getting those hours in, getting those reps in. Just like when you go to the gym and you work out, when you first start, you can't lift heavy weights. But if you consistently go for month after month after month after month, you're going to be lifting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, because we get good at what we practice. And the really important thing is I think that what separates very successful people from people that kind of just stay the same when they hit a certain level is very successful people don't ever think that the practice ends. If you think about professional athletes, the greats, the GOATs, the greatest of all times, Michael Jordan, up until the very end of his career, or even at the peak of his career when he was crushing it, he was still practicing more than anybody. You would think that when you're that good, the practice lessons, it actually increases. So people that come to me and tell me that they want to be a speaker, they ask me, what do I need to do to become a great speaker? I'm like, you need to get on every single stage that you can possibly get. In fact, we all have a stage now with our phones. We have a stage in our pocket. So for me, I mean, I speak on huge stages, but I'm still practicing every single day in the way of going live on social media every day, because I'm getting my reps in. often. I'm practicing talking about my content. The practice never ends. The better that you get, the more that you practice, the more reps you get. And that's how you become an expert. And that's how you separate yourself from the people that are pretty good at what they do to the greatest of all time, which is what anyone that's listening to this podcast right now, I'm sure wants to be. So it's all about practicing. And the more that you do it, the more clear you're going to get in the next direction of where you're supposed to go. Another question I get asked all the time is, Jen, I don't know what the next step is. And people spend way too much time sitting around trying to think about what the next step is. But I always say, like, clarity doesn't come from sitting around and thinking about it. Clarity actually comes from action.
Yep.
It comes from practicing, from doing, from failing, from winning, from messing up, from falling on your face. That's how you get clear on what the next step is. So the way to become great is to do and to consistently take action.
You said it. And, when you look at it in retrospect, knowledge, skill, and achievement are all critical components of expertise. And people who become experts, to your point, tend to acquire a body of knowledge that just makes them one of the most informed individuals in their field. They also possess the skills that they need to determine when and how, and this is key, to use their knowledge. Sure, such skills are, often learned, but they can also be influenced by natural talent and ability, right? And in fact, people who possess expertise also tend to achieve far above and beyond what the average person does. So we know this by statistics. They not only possess knowledge and skill, they also put their talents and know how to work, to your point. So it's extremely important to not only, be that expert, but to practice, and actually put your money where your mouth is, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, you're a true New Yorker, and at heart, you share a beautiful home here in Manhattan with your hubby, Chris. I read all about him and your 3 adorable dogs. I have a dog, too. His name is Elvis. He's a Shih Tzu.
Oh, I love that.
And you are a successful public figure and an acclaimed book author, right? Your book is amazing. I skimmed through it 3 nights ago, and I was like, wow, she's on it. Now, what advice do you have to your younger self?
All right. We were creating some content in the car on the way here, which I'll always multitask. If I'm doing something, I always have a videographer with me to create content all the time. That's another tip for brand building. But I actually was talking about this and the advice that I would give to my younger self. And I would tell young Jen, you need to stop caring what other people think. Because what other people think is absolutely none of your business, number one. And number two, we think that people are so focused on what we're doing, and we think that they're judging us all the time, but they're not. They're spending their time worrying about them, judging themselves. Everyone's just thinking about themselves. They're not worried about you. And we spend so much time holding ourselves back and worrying about other people and what they're going to think of us if we're seen, if we're visible, if we say something, if we make ourselves known. We don't want to make anybody feel bad, or we don't want to make anybody judge us, or we're scared that they're going to think that we look a certain way. And if we took that energy that we spend caring about what other people think, and we spent it on loving on ourselves and building our brand and building our business and building our relationships and being intentional in where we spend our time to create the life that we imagine, our lives will change. We'll be more fulfilled people. But it's today's day and age with really caring. And now it's with social media, but when I was younger, we still did it. It was just in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. And at the end of the day, what we have to keep in mind and keep focused here is that if you are going to be, a public speaker, if you are going to be an expert in your field, if you are going to be a leader, if you're going to be a boss, whatever you're going to label yourself, it needs to come from a place of confidence. You need to own that role. You need to own that title. You need to go out into the world and tell yourself, I'm manifesting, and this is who I am, and put it out there. And then you command that respect and you will receive it. But if you go out there and you peg yourself as an expert or somebody that you're not, people are not dumb. They catch on really quickly and they'll take you apart. So you have to actually put in the work and be consistent and show the world that, this is my window, because people judge a book by its cover. Everything that glitters is gold in this vain world that we live in. But sadly, we only get one bite at the apple. So I always tell my daughter, and I tell everybody around me, you only get one shot to make a great first impression. When preparation meets opportunity, that's when you get to success.
Yes, I love that. Luck is what happens when preparation meets the moment of opportunity. And I always like to remember that you attract what you are. So people ask us all the time, how do I attract an audience that I love? Like, you can attract 2 different types of audiences. So I was on VH1 for 5 years, and I was on a TV show all about heavy metal music. And I didn't like heavy metal music, but I was pretending to be a girl that did, because I was on this show and I had this part and it was a great gig. So I put on this role that I was this super metal girl. So what I did as being this metal chick is I attracted an audience full of people that absolutely loved heavy metal music. And before I knew it, I had built this brand with this audience that didn't align with who I really was. So the fastest way to build a business or a brand that you don't like is to be someone that's inauthentic to who you really are.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
yeah, be
Well,
you.
be you. We're out of time. It was incredible chatting. I could talk to you all day. It's amazing. You'll come back. We'll talk some more. We'll do some more powwow sessions here and motivate people listening. But you are absolutely fantastic.
You're fantastic. I'm so grateful that we did this. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, that was our Trailblazer segment brought to you by OGPay.com. That was the amazing Jen Gottlieb, a powerhouse entrepreneur, author of book Be Seen, host of the I Dare You podcast, and co-founder of Super Connector Media. Head directly to her website at jengottlieb.com. That's JenGottlieb.com at Jen_Gottlieb. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Navé, a members-only travel portal exclusively available through Organo, offering members steep discounts on nightly or weekly hotel stays, cruises, auto rentals, excursions, and so much more. With its travel getaway portal, Navé makes the days of surfing multiple travel sites and spending hours evaluating the best deals done with. That's because with Navé, you are guaranteed the best prices. Plus, to gain access to an even more expansive collection of condos, hotels, cruises, vacation villas, fantasy getaways, and concierge service, there's Forever Weeks. Simply purchase a Navé Forever Weeks package one time and enjoy the benefits many times. With Forever Weeks, forever means forever. Not only does Navé guarantee you the best prices, but it is also one of the few travel portals that pays a referral bonus, in addition to you earning rewards points, which can be redeemed on the Travel Getaway portal for further discounted hotel room rates. Become a member today and navigate the world of travel. Navé, the world for you to experience. For more information, go to navé.travel. That's Navé, Nave.travel.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a moment, joining me in our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by Navé Travel. Today we're featuring Heather Choi. She's an author, an accomplished violinist, and chairman of SMYH, Show Me Your Heart Foundation. She's been honored by the National Ethnic Coalition of Organizations as recipient of the 2017 Ellis Island Medal of Honor. She believes that investing in people is a way to make this world a better place. Eugene's Unsuspecting Journey is Heather's first publication. Today, she's joined by illustrator Laura Bryson. Eugene's Unsuspecting Journey is Laura's first written publication and the second children's book, which she has illustrated. Today, we're chatting all about grief, how to manifest positive emotional change after loss, and how Heather is aiming to help parents and those grieving from loss change the color of the day. Now, when a child dies, many people's thoughts immediately go to the grieving parents. It can be difficult to fathom what they're feeling or figure out what to say in the aftermath of such a devastating loss. Losing a child is a unique type of grief, as the natural order has been disrupted. Most people have suffered the loss of a parent, a grandparent, or a spouse, but most have not experienced losing a child. As parents, we expect our children to make the world a better place. We have hopes and dreams for them. So we not only grieve the loss of the child, we grieve the loss of what could have been. It's even more heartbreaking not to be able to talk about that child. Now, Heather took control of that by making certain that Eugene Wong Choi's legacy lived on through this beautiful book. Joining me now are Heather and Laura. Welcome to the show, my beautiful friends.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Heather, I'm going to start with you. Now, as you know better than anyone else, the agony of losing a child at any age is unparalleled. There is no age or point in time that makes it any easier. And losing Eugene carried with it the loss of the future, the hopes, the dreams, and potential that he would have fulfilled. Talk to me about this book, Eugene's Unsuspecting Journey, and what inspired you to write it.
Okay, when Eugene, he was at the hospital for 5 years, intensive care. We would do anything, everything to encourage him when your kids are sick, right? So we're looking for the book saying, how could I encourage his sick, make him happy? And all the years, all these survivor through the cancer, all those books are sad books, sad story. And I said, you know what, even though you're in the position such as sad and hard time, having a hard time, there's always some happy time too from the sadness. Even though you're having such a hard time, you could always find such a like happiness, like you ordered a pizza, which that was my 40th birthday. We ordered a pizza and we're so happy because we could have outside of the food, that kind of things. Like I want patient at the hospital or having a hard time, not just read the book saying I had this and this hard time, but I survived. No, I said, my situation was so hard, but through even the situation's hard, but I somehow could find some happy time, so I get through from this situation. That was the whole idea.
Of course, and what a beautiful job you did. Now, Laura, you co-authored and illustrated the book. Congrats on the beautiful work. And even amidst the darkest moments of despair, right? Flickers of hope emerge, and through the power of connection and compassion, Heather began to piece together her shattered heart and discovered a renewed sense of purpose and meaning. And the labyrinth of grief, as we know, is a tough one. Why is this book so important to you, and what is your mission, Laura?
Well, the book is so important to me because when I met Heather, it was a beautiful dinner that she and her husband Mingy took my husband and I out, and I never met her. And in getting to know each other, they were thanking my husband for his kindness to Heather. And I asked, do you have any children? And Mingy said no. So the dinner went on, and we had a lovely time, and Heather and I connected. But so I got home and I Googled her. I just want to know more about her. And I found this story, how they had lost Eugene. And I was heartbroken. I have raised two boys, very similar age. And I was so profoundly upset that I wanted to share that with her. I wanted her to know. So I called her that night at 11 o'clock p.m. And I said, Heather, I want to know you as a mother. I want to know Eugene. We have a connection, but it has to be real. And so we both cried, and it was just a very profound moment for me. And from that moment on, I just had this connection with Eugene. I sadly have other friends who've lost kids, but Eugene's in my heart forever. And so we said we wanted to do something. And I had, as an illustrator, it was a sensible thing to maybe make a book together. So that's why the book is so important to me, because together we worked on it on every aspect. And I think we accomplished what Heather was trying to show.
I love it. And of course, when you talk about death, it's hard enough, but cultural traditions can make it even more complicated, right? Like the word death is extremely taboo in Asian culture, as it's believed that death will come if it's mentioned. Some even refuse to register as organ donors or write their own wills for fear of cursing themselves and bringing on death. And traditionally, Asian cultures place great value on the family as a unit and are collectivist by nature. Bringing honor and not shame to the family is of utmost importance, which is why Asians are often expected to suppress rather than express their feelings. In fact, it's typical for Chinese people to express their condolences with a saying that translates to, quote, I hope that you will restrain your grief and adjust to the change. Heather, what do you say to this? And ultimately, what helped you in your grieving process?
You know what? Thank you for asking me that question. I guess that's one of the main reasons that I wrote a book about Eugene, because sending your kids heaven before you, that's the worst thing ever. I mean, for worst everybody, but especially for the Asian community, that's like such a no situation. And you got this name tag saying your life has to be miserable forever. And you can go to party, you can enjoy it. It's like as soon as you see yourself enjoying your life, it's such a bad mother and bad parents. You can't do that. And I said, no. I want to be the first one who said, whatever happened, but the rest of the life, my life, and everybody gets to have one shot for their life. Just because something terrible happened doesn't mean I got the name tag saying my life has to be miserable. That's why I wrote a book first in English, and I wrote it as a Chinese. and Korean, and hopefully Japanese and Indian. I want to let all these Asian mommies saying, that's okay. That's okay.
You
And
want to tell them it's okay because they suppress their emotions, and you're paving the way here for an entire community to be able to openly talk about it. And you not only are talking about it, you wrote a book about it. You went that step further. So congratulations. Eugene is looking down on you, Mama, and he's so, so proud. This is your moment.
yeah,
You did what you set out to do, and Laura helped you. Now, Laura, you're a great support system for Heather and a dedicated friend. Connecting with other parents who have experienced a similar loss can be incredibly valuable, and sharing experiences and listening to others' stories help with feeling less alone. What advice do you have for friends and family to best support someone during their grieving process?
I think honesty. I think you already know, as well, many people are parents already if they know someone who lost a child. And so we can envision the loss. We can't really feel it. But I think saying a word or two of honest emotion is a doorway in, and I think obviously listening, but I've just approached it honestly with Heather and with a couple of other friends, and it seems to build a bond.
Well, that's why you're good at what you do. You're an illustrator. You tell stories through the beautiful art that you create, and you
Okay.
connect people. So that's incredible. Now, Heather, preserving memories is very important, and finding ways to honor Eugene's memory is very healing for you. I could see it. Keeping his memory alive is clearly very comforting, and it helps you maintain a sense of connection to him. Now, this book is, of course, your way of honoring Eugene. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice throughout all of this, what would it be?
again, everybody gets to have one shot for their life. It's totally up to you. Don't complain. You just take it and you make the most of it and you do your best. And that's the only way that you could go to heaven, to meet your lost children.
This was a great answer. It was short and sweet and to the point. Now, let's chat about the foundation, the SMYH Foundation. They have a music and art division, and you support youth groups who are talented in art. Your goal is to provide more opportunities to these children through competitions and events. In fact, your annual art competition supports scholarships and creates opportunities for various artistic experiences. You work with elementary age children through high school. Tell us more, and how can people support?
Show me your heart, meaning show me your heart. We're not limiting myself. There's a lot of foundation called Cancer Foundation or Breast Cancer Foundation. They kind of limit, they do certain things. But Show Me Your Heart Foundation is, as long as you show me your heart, we will jump in with you and we do make the better and bigger together. And we're not limiting just for the children or just for the art or music. Anybody, we could do the things with the woman or anything, everything. But it doesn't have to be in America. Anybody from your heart, then that's the whole idea.
I love it. Laura, this is a great, great friendship, and you have now come to know her. Any other books in the works?
Well, I think would be fun. I daydream about having Eugene take a few animated journeys in animation.
Ooh, I like that. I think we should
Sure, I
make that
think he could
happen.
have a few journeys that kids would like to watch.
Well, then there we go. Heather, there's another calling for you. There's another book. It's
Honor. It'll be my honor.
There you go. Well, if you ever want to stop in and say hello, please do so. We'd love to have you back. I'd love to send people to be able to get this book, be able to come, check out your incredible Eugene's Unsuspecting journey and read it for themselves. So definitely I'm going to send people to bestboypublishing.com. And of course, Laura, your website, laurabrysonart.com, and the foundation, SMYHfoundation.com. Those are the three most important handles to remember. Thank you so much for coming on, ladies. It was such a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Guys, grief is a complex and an individual journey, and it's important to allow yourself to grieve in your own way and at your own pace. It's normal to experience a wide range of emotions: shock, anger, guilt, sadness, confusion. Remember that it's okay to feel these emotions and that they are a natural part of the grieving process. It's okay to take the time you need and seek support when you need it. Healing takes time, and there's no set timeline for moving forward. Be patient with yourself and know that it's okay to ask for help along the way. That was our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by Navé Travel. And that was the amazing Heather Choi and Laura Bryson. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Navé, a members-only travel portal exclusively available through Organo, offering members steep discounts on nightly or weekly hotel stays, cruises, auto rentals, excursions, and so much more. With its travel getaway portal, Navé makes the days of surfing multiple travel sites and spending hours evaluating the best deals done with. That's because with Navé, you are guaranteed the best prices. Plus, to gain access to an even more expansive collection of condos, hotels, cruises, vacation villas, fantasy getaways, and concierge service, there's Forever Weeks. Simply purchase a Navé Forever Weeks package one time and enjoy the benefits many times. With Forever Weeks, forever means forever. Not only does Navé guarantee you the best prices, but it is also one of the few travel portals that pays a referral bonus, in addition to you earning rewards points, which can be redeemed on the Travel Getaway portal for further discounted hotel room rates. Become a member today and navigate the world of travel. Navé, the world for you to experience. For more information, go to nave.travel. That's Navé, Nave.travel.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Romulus Entertainment, today we're featuring my dear friend, actor, producer, and influencer Lorenzo Antonucci. Antonucci wrapped Darkness of Man back in January, and that was starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. He also recently came off of his production on location in Georgia on his directorial debut Unfelt, starring Timothy Murphy, Carmel Bortoletti, and Parsha Coleman. Now, his film credits include White Elephant, Deadlock, The Free Fall, and motion picture. He executive produced Paradise City, starring Bruce Willis and John Travolta. That's on the film side. His television credits include Paradise City, Ballers, and of course Game of Thrones, very popular there. Today we're chatting career, Bruce Willis, and Hollywood's aggressive cancel culture. Now, working in the age of cancel culture and wokeism under the influence of social media definitely ain't easy. And cancel culture and wokeism have become prominent topics in recent years, particularly within the entertainment industry. The rise of cancel culture and wokeism has undeniably had a significant impact on Hollywood. And the industry, which has traditionally been known for pushing boundaries and challenging societal norms, now finds itself grappling with heightened sensitivities and an increased demand for accountability. Filmmakers, actors, and most industry professionals navigate a delicate balance between creative expression and avoiding potential backlash. It's definitely a challenging landscape for those in the industry at this moment. Here to give us insight and perspective is the amazing Lorenzo Antonucci. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zen. I appreciate the invitation in our wonderful, beautiful city, New York City, the best city in the globe.
Absolutely. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, as they say. Now, you know this better than anyone else, right? Tell us about your journey into acting and how you first discovered your passion for the craft.
Wow. I started as a musician. I was in a band called Sworn Enemy. We were out of New York, and we signed to Elektra Records. Long story long. That went for 10 years, and then I got into the entertainment side of, the acting side by trying to get into the WWE as a wrestler. So when I was trying to do wrestling, because I had long hair and I was like 250 pounds of I guess, muscle, I tried to get into the game of being a WWE superstar, but that didn't happen. And I got into the acting and producing shortly after, around 2014, and it's been just a wonderful journey learning the craft and
working with some of the most incredible, talented actors out there. And I see you on social media. You have quite the entourage. You're always at the most incredible parties and the red carpet events, and you're definitely doing your thing and getting yourself out there, and lots of networking, and social media, of course, plays a huge role. In this particular case, I'll sway to the question that social media has undoubtedly become a powerful force in sharing public opinion and exerting influence on the entertainment industry. How do you manage to avoid the drama and remain gracefully employed, Lorenzo?
I manage it by just being a good human. I mean, I don't have anything to hide. I'm just, I'm pretty fair game. I want everybody to win. Everybody's, deserves a shot, and working hard and being just good, working with good intentions is all that I can ever ask for in any human or just in myself. And that's what drives me, and being motivated by all the people that I'm around, and I'm blessed to be around, and all my dear friends that are just crushing the game, that are my, people that I look up to. Just keeps me going. It keeps me driving.
Yeah, Hollywood's not an easy town, and it's not an easy place to keep friendships. It's not an easy place to make meaningful relationships. It's one of those eat or be eaten kind of scenarios. It's definitely a jungle out there, but you have to remain graceful, and you have to your point, remain humble to the craft and to the industry, and have good relationships and a great work ethic. And we know that platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok now allow for rapid dissemination of information and opinions. In the context of cancel culture, social media has the ability to amplify controversies and, of course, fuel public outrage within a matter of hours or even minutes. So as a result, individuals and companies often find themselves under intense scrutiny and pressure to conform to popular narratives. So it's not easy to stay liked at this point in time. Now, given the influence of social media, how do professionals in Hollywood, would you say, adapt their strategies to appeal to this online audience, but also staying true to the artistic vision?
Yeah, it's tricky. I would think that, you got to adapt and, know the lane you're in, and proceed with precaution, because, it's a sensitive time, and if people, have a right to for their opinions, and they have a right to do what they want to do. And, everybody has a fair shot. So I think it's just a matter of really being aware, self-aware of what you say, and just being, speak from the heart. And I think if you got all good intentions, everything comes out in the wash anyway. I don't think that you're going to have any. I mean, I know that there's backlash on everything. I know it's hard to navigate around what is right and wrong nowadays. So
yeah, it's a delicate balance.
It's so delicate.
Yeah, and on one hand, engaging with social media is really essential at this point in time for connecting with audience and promoting your projects and building personal brands. A lot of professionals in Hollywood actively use social media to express their views and engage with fans and address controversies, but there's always a risk of, misinterpretation or to your point, backlash. So careful consideration is necessary when you're navigating these online spaces, especially as an actor and as a performer and as somebody that's, public figure. And some individuals and even studios have even implemented strategies to anticipate and manage potential controversies before they even escalate. They have like entire damage control departments. So it's definitely something to look out for. Now, what has been your most memorable role to date, and why would you say it's memorable?
Wow. Well, I mean, I've played a lot of cops, a lot of militia or military guys, but I did play a character which was not an easy character to pull from. I played a short movie called Cracker that we did in 2018. That I played a white supremacist.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was thrust back in time, and all the African Americans were the rulers of the world, and the whites were the slaves. So we flipped the world on that, and we just wanted to show the perspective of what it's like for, what they went through as slaves, but now you've seen it through their lens,
Interesting narrative. Yeah. And flipping the narrative is important because that's what allows you to give these perspectives and allow the creative vision to just give people insight from really just, insight from perspective that would have never been told otherwise. So it's great that you did that, socially active and proactive in that, right? Kudos to you. Now, it's clear that walking the tightrope, so to speak, between artistic expression and appeasing, audiences is no easy task. What has been the biggest challenge you have faced in your acting career, and how would you say you overcame it?
I think the biggest challenge is just getting a job. I mean, that's the biggest
Zen,
challenge.
hello.
Yeah, it's like, I think the biggest challenge is always, choosing the right job that you're offered. If you're lucky to get one, and to be smart with the moves you make, and always, I think they're all challenging. I think that they're all, different ways of challenges. I think that there's just so many different, it's at the end of the day, it's all a grind. But if you love this, you got to just deal with all the challenges. I think my biggest challenge was pretty much, getting the door slammed in my face every time, or getting a role and you get excited and you get cut out, or half your stuff gets cuts out, like those are the biggest challenges to deal with. Or you're this close to getting something and you don't get it, or there are all so many challenges. I just think that you're lucky when you're working. And if you can make a living doing this, God bless you, because this is the toughest, hardest, thankless business in any industry.
You're right.
This is the hardest.
You're right. Staying employed in general, that's no easy feat in Hollywood these days. Now, but you've been doing a great job. So you have stayed afloat and you're very well liked. You're very well liked. People, are drawn to you. You're charismatic. You have that it factor, and you maintain your relationships close to you. So it's important. Now, if you could look at your career in retrospect, and even projecting into the future, are there any dream roles or projects that you have yet to tackle but would love to?
I would love to play a war hero in a World War II film. That would be like one of my, so a lot of my favorite movies are war movies, and I would love to just be in like Marvel, something like a massive role in Marvel. Like those would be great, because I mean everything else I'm pretty much,
So we'll channel Frank Grillo for a moment.
All right.
We'll channel our friend Frank.
Shout out to Frank.
Big shout out
Love
to
Frank.
Grillo, our brother listening out there. Now, can you share any interesting or funny behind-the-scenes stories from your experiences on set?
Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Well, I do have an interesting one. To the late Tom Sizemore, we were shooting a pilot, and he's so amazing as an actor. I mean, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And he was just running around he wanted a pitcher of like a glass pitcher where you get a mug of beer. He wanted it full with coffee, and he got it in his hand, and he's delivering lines, and he's walking around. He's doing his after blocking. He's shooting, blah 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 blah. He falls and trips over the cables. He smashes his hand with the actual pint of glass, and he cuts his whole hand open.
Oh my
Rush
God.
to the hospital. We're still shooting. We have to shoot all the coverage of this dinner scene, like at a table that we're at right now. He's at the hospital getting stitched up. When we go to his coverage, he's right back at the table delivering the best moment, and he had 11 stitches in his arm.
Oh my goodness.
That was a crazy, I mean, that's rest in peace, Tom. It was amazing working with him in that moment, and he played my dad. So he's
a real professional.
Yeah, and brilliant actor, but I mean, just the wow he just was like, screaming, it's bloody everywhere, and he just gets rushed to the hospital with the whole crew, and everybody's like, what do we do? What do we do? I was like, we just shoot our coverage. Everybody, get our coverage for the dinner scene. And then by the time we were ready for him, he was sat down. He had a bandage, like a huge cast, and they wrapped it up with the green tape for green screen, for VFX, visual effects for those that don't understand VFX. And it worked out.
Amazing. That's a great story. All right. Well, rest in peace, Tom Sizemore.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Now, what, I guess if you can, we have one more question here, or maybe two, we have about a minute and a half. But what has been the most rewarding aspect of your acting career this far?
Wow. Being able to work with the greats, or being around some of the biggest legends of all time.
Okay, let's segue to Bruce Willis. We're going to shout him out now because he's an incredible actor, and
Shout out
what's
to
happened
Bruce
to his
Willis.
health recently is so devastating, and I wish it on nobody, because having
Mm.
your memory stripped from you is probably the biggest fear I have. Now, what was it like working with him?
I mean, I did 4 movies with him, and he's a sweet man, and it's sad with what him and his family's going through, and I mean, he's just a Jersey dude. I mean,
And a
he's-
great talent.
I mean, he's phenomenal, right, for his legacy. But I mean, he was just like a regular guy like us, Like he always gave me love. He always showed me love. He was always smile when he see me. He was always, even if I bumped into him at Moro's, he'd be like, get up and shake my hand and say hi. But working with him was legendary. With the Detective Night, Independence is the one.
Beautiful.
I have a lot.
So you
of
definitely
scenes
work with our boy Johnny Mesner out there for sure.
Love Johnny.
Johnny's
My brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny's family to us. Well,
Mhm.
listen, any sneak peeks into upcoming projects or roles that you're taking on?
Yeah. Well, I just directed a movie called Unfelt. It's hopefully that'll be out in the end of 2023 or beginning of 24. And I am getting ready to prep another movie I'm going to direct, Arch Enemy. And that's in the early phases. I just did NCIS LA, the last episode ever with LL and LL Cool J, and it was
Cool.
the
Look at
CBS
you,
last
hustling.
episode. Yeah, that was the last episode ever. So it was a Randy Couture. It was awesome. Jay, everybody was awesome to work with on that show, and shout out to everybody at CBS and NCIS LA. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You are
Thank you
amazing.
for having me.
Thank you for chatting with me and giving some perspective into your incredible life. And you've had a blessed career, and I wish you luck, and please continue to keep us updated. And we're big fans over here at WOR.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Take care.
That was Lorenzo Antonucci. Definitely check out his website at AntonucciPictures.com, or you could head directly on the gram and check him out at Lorenzo Antonucci JR. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio.
Hey guys, this is celebrity chef Jonathan Cinto right here on A Moment of Zen on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Welcome to the Culinary and Wine segment brought to you by BJ Cucina. In today's mini segment, we are going to be making a bunless chicken palm burger. All right, everyone. So now we're going to get the burger started. It's real simple. We have a pound of ground chicken. This is real organic ground chicken. Make sure you use the good stuff for this, all right? So we're going to put that in the bowl. I'm using 1 cup diced onions that I chopped up real fine. We'll throw that right in there. We got to use some good Parmesan cheese. I like Belgiosi. And we're going to be putting in a cup of Parmesan cheese as well. Throw that right in there. Really simple recipe. Then we're going to be using some onion powder from Chef Zito. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons. We're going to be using their awesome fine herbs mix. This stuff is amazing. So we're going to be using that. It's a combination of basil and parsley and some oregano. Makes it real easy. So we'll throw that in there. That's about 3 tablespoons. We'll mix that all together and we're going to use 1 egg. Get that one egg in there, nice and fine. Throw it in my dump bucket. We're going to use plain breadcrumbs, whatever your choice is. We'll throw that in here as well. This is about a cup of plain breadcrumbs. We'll mix this all together, get this into a patty. We're going to hit it in the pan in a stainless steel with some really good olive oil. Okay, so we're going to hit the pan now, as I was telling you earlier, with the olive oil. I have Rancha Azul, the Oreo olive oil. This stuff is insane. This is a really good reserve olive oil. So we'll put about 3 to 4 tablespoons in there in a really hot pan. As you can see how hot this is, okay? Oh man, smell that. That is insane. It's permeating the room. I love it. So we're going to keep this on about a 3 to 4. And just so you guys know also, this here has some like lemon zest flavors popping out. So really nice. We're going to give some nice floral notes because it's perfect for the summertime. So we're going to hit our burgers in the pan. Get that sizzle going. That's what we want. Get that nice sear. And we'll let them cook on each side for about 5 minutes. And then we'll hit it in the oven at 325 for 15. I'll be right back. I'll show you what the finished burger looks like. All right, so look how the burger's got that beautiful sear on there. This thing smells so good too. The flavors are just popping off the pan here. I can't take it anymore. So we're gonna take these bad boys out and let them rest on my plate over here. Oh my goodness. We'll put that right there because we're gonna stack that together and make it beautiful. So I got this really amazing sauce. It's made in Italy. This is one of my favorites right now. This is from Chef Mandela. This is lemon and basil. It's got the real Sicilian. You don't have to be chef, guys, to create at home. This sauce here will do it perfectly for your kitchen. So we're going to knock this out in the pan. Now we had all that good stuff going. We'll use about a half of the jar. Just get this heated up real quick. Get all those bits in there. Oh my God, that lemon that's coming out from the Italy flavors are just popping off the pan. So we're going to do something very simple now. I want to get these burgers back into the sauce here. We'll let that simmer a little bit in the sauce. And then we're going to hit some cheese on there and stack that bad boy up. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so let's now start forming this bad boy together. So I actually have some beautiful roasted red peppers that I made earlier. We're going to just throw a little bit of those right on here. Oh, man, I love good vegetables, good herbs, all those goodness. And now we're going to take some pepper jack cheese, put it right on top of there. A little bit more pepper jack cheese, put it right on top of there. We're going to melt it, and then we're going to stack it together on the plate. All right, the cheese is melted. It's exactly what I want, that gooiness, right? So we're going to take that out of the pan. Move that out a little bit, but I want to first put some sauce on the bottom here. Oh, man, look at that. Get that colors going on there. Look at the chunks of the tomatoes. Man, there's nothing better than coming from Italy, right? So we got that on the bottom. And then we're going to get the burger right here. Put the first one here. It's all right if you make a little mess. That's why they invented paper towels. Look at that. That's exactly what we want. And now we're going to stack it. It slid off a little bit. This is real cooking, guys. Look at that. That is exactly what we are looking for. That is just scrumptious right there. Clean our plate off a little bit. Make it look presentable. We are cooking live here, guys. This is no joke. This is for real. Okay, so that looks nice right there. Shut my stove off. That is exactly what we are looking for. Look at that. You can see the heat coming off. Look at that. That is insane. Oh, man. If you guys could smell what's coming off the plate here. I know I'm teasing you a little bit, but hey, I am now drinking something that is one of my favorites right now from Club Kokomo Spirits. This right here is a cocktail perfect for the summer. Look at these notes in here. It's got ginger. It's got maple, citrus, allspice, all the good stuff. We got to open it up because it pairs perfectly. Don't you love that crack noise when you hear it? Cheers to everybody. Wow, this is going to work perfectly for my burger. Summertime vibes coming right at you. Thanks Thanks for tuning in and watching. This is Chef Jonathan Cinto on A Moment of Zen on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. That was our culinary and wine segment brought to you by BJ Cucina. Back to you, Zen.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out OGPay.com.
That's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, and all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now available on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV streaming platform. You could head directly to our channel at mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to us. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.